I also believe that this is a fairly good budget. Those positions that are funded at 50%, I do encourage those departments to continue to hire for those because the overtime goes down. So there's a little bit of a trade-off. We won't be using so much overtime when we get the full-time equivalents. So it's not completely dire. Jail overcrowding is an issue, and we usually have between 60 and 100 state inmates at any given time. So if the state would take all their inmates, we would be much happier position. As far as the COLA goes, I think that we have a path forward where we're going to take in the future several different CPIs and maybe take an average of those. So the commissioners started that discussion, and I think we'll keep on with that. So a COLA helps us keep up with the market, and every 3 years we have a wage study. So in our FY25 budget, we have funded a wage study. So we will know this spring how close we are to market for our area, and that's pretty important. So we did talk about a 1% COLA, and I was not sure that that was going to keep us in line enough where we didn't have to take a 3% tax increase next year to raise those wages enough to keep up with the local market. So our benefits, medical benefits are actually going up. We have an on-site clinic that just opened in July. So our employees and any of their family members who are on our medical program will be able to have this. A lot of people couldn't find primary care providers, so this becomes that for the employees. And what it ends up doing is probably saving our projections about $1 million a year. And so we're going to keep a close eye on that and look at that. So saving, $1 million a year by having this clinic where folks can not take that much time off work and be able to get in and be seen right away, not spend so much time sick because they're getting treated sooner for lesser ailments than waiting months and even years sometimes, where then now you're in catastrophic and now you're going to be taking FMLA and a lot of time off. So I'm very excited to see that benefit. People first. I've said that since I got here. We're a service organization and a monopoly for much of that service. I can't be at home and say, the deputies made me upset. I'm going to call Coeur d'Alene City to come out and take my police report. Doesn't work that way. Community development. I'm in the county. I don't get to call City of Post Falls and say, hey, can I please have a building permit? So I want to make sure that we're providing the best possible service here to our Kootenai County residents for the lowest cost. It's a balancing act, and again, making sure that our people are able to stay here at the county just benefits our citizens. You want that longevity, you want that knowledge, and it just makes for better service. The labor shortage has hurt our nation, and our county is absolutely no exception. So there's a few things that I want to talk about potentially putting off till next year. When I go through a budget, I look at, I ask myself these questions, and I ask other departments these questions. What do you need to accomplish your task? What are the consequences for not funding this? What work is not being done? Can it be done with less? What is the return on investment? And what is the liability if we don't do what the ask is for? So when I look at that, I've identified just a few things that would add up to approximately $200,000 that would not reduce your taxes, but it would go towards that jail medical deficit. And I am willing to just go down the list and do it. I'm not looking to debate. If somebody wants to support me, they can say yes or no. If they don't, then we'll just move on. We have non-capital software, and this is just a really small reduction, but it's $1,500 on the BOCC level. And insurance deductible, there's a line item that's $21,000. ICRIMP had raised our deductible at one point, or they were talking about it, and that was to cover the deductible for 3 vehicle crashes, but now we can reduce that line to $7,500. That will actually cover 5 vehicle crashes because that's $1,500 each now that ICRIMP came out with the solid number. So that would be a $13,500 savings. License plate readers, I think that there is a value in that. I think that if I'm not going to get supported for cutting those this year, then what I would like to do is have another meeting where the policy can be brought forward, where a lot of the concerns that were expressed tonight could be addressed, and have that conversation. So when we approve the budget, that's not spending authority, that's budget authority. So there's a lot of things that the elected officials and departments still have to come before the BOCC for the spending authority. So I want to make that clear. We've got $400,000 in radios, which they were on a really good plan to get everybody caught up. But I think that if we reduce that by $100,000, we'll just know that next year we'll have to, increase that line item. And then there's the detention response team, and that is a $30,000 ask that I would ask to be reduced to $15,000. They do have some real needs in that area. Again, there's one more that's not. It doesn't affect any tax dollars because it is a restricted fund. But I just have to say, I said it earlier this year, the side-by-side for 911, I'm just not seeing the value in the $60,000 that, because they want to go up once a month during the winter. We have, I know, at least 2 other tracked vehicles in the county that could be used for that purpose, and they could work out, in agreements. Might be less convenient. I also have had several members of the public volunteer their, side-by-sides. That comes with its own issue. So, and then there's one other budget personnel thing that we can handle in September that would loan about or transfer from that department over to the jail medical. So for a total about $201,000. So if anybody wants to second that, that's great. If they don't, I think overall it's a pretty good budget. The jail medical was distressing though, because I asked for money to be kept in there and it wasn't. So here we are.